Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Ah, hello, hello, hello. Greetings, willkommen, bonsoir, welcome, ahoy, hey, and lots of other words that mean hello. How are we all today? Hope everyone is well. Good day, Marcus Mark, Baron of Barras and Yeeter of Yowies. Yella. How you diddling? Good to see you, Buff. Let me just finish that. There we are. So, yes, another week done. It's been one. Been an interesting one. Pardon me, lots of work. Lots of stuff happening at work. Lots of fishes sold. And that's, yeah, pretty much the state of my week. Oh, obviously, I saw Mary today as well, which always improves anything. So, yes, another trip down to the LFS today to drop off some stock. Not a huge amount, but took a surprising while to catch. So it was a bunch of super reds, bunch of snails, bunch of limia, bunch of pelvica chromis. So I will add them to the list in the diary that I got. Oh, cool. And yeah, start keeping track of what I've actually bred and sold over the course of a year. And just to make Sam happy, we do have Nanakara wrigglers somewhere in the tank. Missy Cara moved them. She does that. As soon as I start wriggling, she moves them somewhere else where I can't see them, which is really not helpful. So fingers crossed, at least we get some free swimming fry this time. Nanakara anomala. Yes, there we go. As I was talking to the guys in the LFS, local fish shop or store, if you didn't know. Yeah, apparently Nanakara are quite rare. People just tend not to have them. So, as I thought, well, yeah, I've only ever seen them for sale once. So, well, I missed a big chunk of facial fur. No, I've just got a patch that's not gone white yet. That's all. Yeah, so fingers crossed. Oh, howdy Zen. On a 15-minute break, eating biscuits and gravy. I just mash the biscuits up and turn it into soup. That's the easy way of doing that. It's basically the American equivalent of Weetabix and warm milk. If you've not tried it, trust me. Yeah, mash the Weetabix up, so it's kind of like porridge. Awesome. Just don't let it set in the bowl. Rinse the bowl out instantly, because otherwise it's like chipping concrete off. Yeah, so that, and also another movement forward with the fishy sales. I now have the Fish Buyer Dude's private mobile, so I can text him and let him know what I've got if he wants anything, and he can text me if he runs out of something he knows I've got. So that should hopefully streamline the whole thing of me phoning the shop and then trying to, get a moment when the people I deal with aren't busy. Sharpe's never had real American biscuits and gravy. No, because we have our scones with either butter or clotted cream and jam. They're probably all still in Kenny's stream, I think. Just waiting on Kenny to finish before they zoom over. Or Kenny's finished and they're all making coffee and going to the toilet. Scones are like biscuits here, but not exactly a similar thing. Similar texture-wise, let's say we do fruit scones or cheese scones generally, or plain scones, but nah. Biscuits and goopy, exactly. And the gravy has to be thick enough that when it's in a mug, you can stand a fork up in it and it stays stood up. That's when gravy is proper. If you can see through the gravy or it runs onto the plate, then it's too thin. You may as well just use your dishwater after you've finished doing the washing up. In my opinion, and I'm correct. And gravy goes great with rice. It makes it a lot easier to eat as well. Yeah, so yay with the fishies. So that will make life easier on my part and on their part, and hopefully we'll tick some sales up a bit quicker. And we can move more on. Although we are getting a bit low on bristlies at the moment. We got they're super reds, they're commons. So we've got about 100 super reds left. And 50 and about 400 common bristlies. Oh no, forgot about them. About 550, maybe 600 common bristlies left at the moment. It's got to go to the dispensary. Do you need to pick anything up? Be right back. I could do with some foot cream. Shingle with chipped beef on toast. Yeah, or corned beef, I think is what we'd call it. Yeah. Yeah. You see, I knew there was a reason that I enjoyed like minced beef sandwiches. Fry up the beef, make some gravy with the fat that's in the pan. You fried it up in and put it on bread and nom nom nom. Spot on. Oh, yeah, it's like a beef burger with gravy, or corned beef with gravy kind of thing. Yeah, can't. Yeah, this corned beef is bloody expensive nowadays. It used to be like 50, 60p a can. Stinking up the house supervisor's break room. Go for it. Go for it. Stink it out good and proper. While you're at it, microwave some tuna. Then go stick it by the aircon inlet. Trust me, that one works really well. Although tuna's not that strong, so pilchards, herring, mackerel, sardines, good oily fish. Microwave those while they're nice and steaming hot, leave them by the aircon intake. Stink out the entire building. Or just do what I did and stick them behind the radiator in the French room at school and leave it over the Christmas break. Yeah, apparently that really honked in there when we came back after 2.5 weeks off. Yeah, it's hot and heavy. Most things are better hot and heavy. Cold and light isn't much fun, really, is it? Apart from weather, you don't want weather hot and heavy. That's generally quite a miserable experience in my recollections. Yeah, I don't do well in heat. I don't do well in high pressure and humidity. I just, no, that's really not me at all. Um, I've been winding people up because I'm still wearing shorts. Uh, and yeah, and people coming into the shop to buy like salt for their driveway, and they're dressed up like they're going on an Arctic expedition. There's me in short sleeves and shorts and t-shirt, basically. I mean, well, I'm not that cold. It's only a little bit icy. What are you worried about? Uh, oh, have we acquired or done anything interesting this week? No. That's that one shorted. No video uploaded. I was going to film a video. Oh, boo! There's an Andrew. There's an Aquarium Daily type person. It's wearing the t-shirt I won and the end of year Christmas extravaganza quiz thingy. Yes, too warm indoors for me to wear a hoodie. I haven't got the heating on yet. Howdy, Scotty. How you doing? Yes, thank you very much, Andrew. I shall treasure my two of a kind t-shirt and my one of a kind hoodie. So if you want to make me feel sad because I've not got the only one in existence anymore, I'm sure Andrew has a link of some description somewhere on his YouTube channel of Aquarium Daily of where you can purchase either a t-shirt, a mug, or a hoodie with the same design on. I believe there's even a fish lady one as well for Donna. And there we go. I've got to say, it does feel weird wearing white. It's generally not the kind of colour I wear, but there we go. It makes it look like I've actually got some colour. Just a weird sensation for me. There we go. So yes, as I was saying, work has been. It's been this week. It's one of those weeks where you're finding the mistakes that people have made, and you're just constantly sorting things out. And feels like you're smashing your head against a brick wall because the same mistakes keep being made. So everyone's redone a certain bit of training, and they're still messing it up. And you're thinking, how difficult is it to not put something heavy above head height? Yeah. Why is there a can of paint right on the top shelf up there? There we go. The joys of working with people. Sometimes I wish I didn't. It's one of those reasons why when I'm out of work, I'm out of work for quite a while. I don't like to take a couple of weeks and then get a new job. Try and go as long as I can before I run out of money and then get a new job. But hopefully this one lasts longer than the last two did. What was it? It was June, so 5 months, 6 months. Yeah, it's already been 18 months, so I've been there longer than. Yeah, I've been there longer than my last two jobs already. Wow, that's gone quick. The other two felt like they dragged. It must be because I'm enjoying my work more. the work and majority of the time with the customers and colleagues. But yeah, also getting paid more helps. The last job was a minimum wage and kind of expected everyone to basically feel like they were an owner of the business and everything was massively important. Yeah. Pam, darling, how are you? Good to see you, my dear. Hope you're wonderful. Mwah. Big old smooch. I would say give the furries a fuss for me, but one of them will probably try to savage you. Uh, yeah, so a fair chunk of my free time, as it were, this week has been spent kind of planning ahead for my big bike ride in May. So hopefully get that all figured out fairly soon. As I know when I'm going, as long as the weather's okay. Um, it's working out. And the route there is pretty straightforward because it is the Pedder's Way. It is like a route. It's the route back that's going to take some planning because it's either do I come back down on the Pedder's Way to about halfway to Swaffham and then go from there on roads home, or do I go on roads all the way home, or I don't know. One of those things that will be a play it by ear. Hello, Debs, my dear. How are you? And Linkbot, how are you? Yes, I know I say hello to a bot, but hey. Yeah, so 100-mile in 2 days, camping out overnight. I get a funny feeling there will be quite a lot of these involved. Still not sponsored, by the way. Not that I do anything high adrenaline or sporty. Um, and there will be a McDonald's. First one in about 4 or 5 years, but there will be a McDonald's involved. Because literally the route up goes straight past it. So, yeah. And, I mean, Andrew will know how far this is because it's from where I live pretty much all the way to the very tip of the North Norfolk coast and then back again on a bike without a motor. Oh well, I'll either make it or I won't. That simple. And once I'm past about 15 miles on the way back, it's not really an easy out. Beepy, beepy, beepy. Happy Mary's got home. Yeah, because there aren't like train stations. I think the only train station I go past on the route would be King's Lynn. And as I say, once I'm past King's Lynn, there's not another train station until pretty much Attleborough. Or if there is a train station, it takes me so far out of the way that it's pointless. It will be quicker to cycle. But yeah, so that's the main thing on my mind at the moment. That and looking after fisheries. Yeah. So I lead a very exciting life, don't I? Really? No. And I like it that way. I don't like excitement and surprises and all that sort of thing. I like to just bimble along gently, No real peaks, no real troughs. Just bump along nicely at a fairly sedate level and pace. And then, oh, I missed Debs on the show last night. Oh no! Annoying bloody people wanting to buy tools and stuff on a Saturday. How dare they? And annoying fish shops wanting fish from me, so I had to do all my jobs on a Saturday night rather than Sunday morning. Because I had to catch a lot of fishies. I mean, it weren't a lot, but the limit were an absolute pig to catch. I mean, I could easily get a load in the net, but that was all the tiny little ones. And it weren't the tiny little ones I wanted to sell. It was the bigger ones. And they're getting wise. They see a net, they go, ah, and hide in some of the plants. So, yeah. And it might not look like it, but there are 20 less limit in there than there were last week. Well, adult. There's probably about 80 more fry, but, you know. I did take a bunch of males, so hopefully. Oh, we've got another escape pletlet. Yeah, so hopefully the numbers might stay low for a while. Well, I did forget, I've still got a bunch in that tank. They're a lot easier to catch in a smaller tank that's not full of plants. So yeah, and that bristle nose has got to come out of there. Yeah, that one right there, that's got to come out. Ooh, and Fred is getting on with his new girlfriend, Rose, which, again, if you're English, you'll understand that reference. It was Fred and Ginger, so Fred, and you've got to go with a name that is, kind of synonymous, like Bert and Ernie. So yeah, Fred and Rose. Yeah, they're getting on well. She's doing good. The only downside, and it is a shame, but Mr. Pisto is no more. He finally succumbed to his mouth deformation, um, not being able to eat properly. He basically he hadn't been able to shut his mouth for a long time. Basically, all his life, he's not been able to close his mouth, and I think it was something that was just slowly getting worse because he was finding it harder and harder to eat. To the point where he was having to swim into the food as it sank so he could get it in. And then I think whatever was going on in there got worse, and it got to the point where every time he tried to swallow, it just pushed the food straight back out of his mouth again. And eventually, he's an ex-Pisto now. So so he got berry-defied in the garden because he was a very good fish and had him for quite a while. So yeah, we've got space for something in there now. So I'm going to leave it a bit and just think on it and not jump to any shiny moments. Not they were good, they're cool, they're nice. Just leave it a bit and figure things out. X can't shut his mouth either, but unfortunately he seems to be doing fine. Yeah, I'm not sure there was a deformity or he got injured somewhere, but as far as I recall, he's been like it as long as I've had him. So I'm going with deformity. Or that either got worse or as he grew, something else happened. Bless him. He was a lovely, sweet, friendly, and gentle fish that always came over to say hello whenever you went over to the tank. We shall see. We might try some more pistos. The water in there is a little bit softer now. Um, although once the yo-yos have finished off the snails in there and they've moved out, it will literally just be the two bristlies in there. So I could potentially pop a load of shrimp in there. We shall see. I could possibly even move the pelvic acromis in there. And that'd leave the slightly larger tank with literally just a bristle nose in it. So we can work that out as well. So yeah, there's space and there's things to be done, and I now have okay. There's the wrong shoulder. There's one criblet left in that tank and one bristle nose left in that tank. So we can soon catch and move them to have two empty tanks, and then plenty of space for quarantinis. So if on the off chance I have to go into a fish store and find a female lemon blue eye bristle nose, I'll get one of them to put with Doug so we can have those as well. Thank you very much, Mark, for the 5 memberships. Oh, that's Scotty and Marriott and Jeff and Mufti and Ricky. There we go. And Linkbot still thinks she's gifted out 0. Is that because they all got used? I don't know. Yeah. So there's room for thought. I mean, if there's anything in particular that you might like to see me keeping or trying to breed, I don't mean me trying to breed with, I mean species breeding, let me know. Bear in mind they're not big tanks. 15 and a 18 gallon. So, but we know how tank size recommendations are viewed here in the Sharpe fishery. So pretty much anything dwarf cichlid sized or smaller. What about CPDs? I have tried CPDs in the past, Debs, and they don't like my water. I mean, I had one that lived for years, but the rest of them all kicked the bucket fairly rapidly. Same with pygmy cories, they don't like my water either, for some reason. I think it's literally just too high in calcium for a lot of species. If I didn't know better, I'd swear their gills get sort of clagged up with limescale. Kind of what it seems anyway. And it might be organ-wise rather than gills, but you know. Yeah, I'll say, don't get me wrong, CPDs are gorgeous little fishies. They'd be absolutely fine with the bristlies, so long as the bristles probably eat all the eggs. And I'd have to move the yo-yo loaches out first, definitely. Because the speed those yo-yo loaches are growing on their diet of, well, mostly ram's horn and trumpet snails, yeah, they're not going to be too long before they're big enough to start eating things like CPDs. So, eek. Yeah. I mean, next tank they're going to go into is going to be the other one I have options in. So I might try a flavour of live bearer if I can find one that's friendly. when I say that, I mean a less common flavour of live bearer, not your guppy, molly, platty, endler. A, because I don't want to get inundated with stuff I can't sell, and B, because I'd rather keep something that I can sell and get a decent bit of money for. Because if you can keep live bearers alive, the breeding kind of takes care of itself. You don't really have to do anything. So you don't tend to see too many Goodeids or Godeids, whichever is the correct pronunciation. Godeid always sounds to me like the Australian pronunciation of it. So you don't tend to see too many of those around. So quite a few of the rarer live bearers are that bit bigger, so that can cause issues. Excuse me. Lurking, dropping off some fish for a local keeper. Howdy, Tommy, you spexy beast. Go for it. Don't forget to take the money when you come back. Nice to do a nice thing for people, but was it your mollies you're moving on? Mollies and Val. Two things that reproduce an alarming rate. Although I suppose I could, or it's going to take some doing, I could transfer the Pelvic Chromis and Doug the Lemon Blue Eye into this tank here with the Shelleys in and transfer the Shelleys into that tank so they have a bigger tank. That might be an idea, because then we'd have a bigger Shelley colony. And let's be honest, Shelleys are more entertaining to watch. And with the dark sand in there, they'd colour up a bit stronger as well. That's an idea. The other thought I had was I noticed last couple of times in the LFS they're selling rabbit snails. I think maybe a few of them. Obviously, I know, yes, they eat plants. They would literally go in a fry rack somewhere up there. one of them tanks that have a few rabbit snails in it, and I'd just do what I normally do: feed snails algae wafers and excess plant stock. But then that still leaves what to do over there. Well, I think maybe moving the Shelleys might be quite a good idea. Give them a bit more room. I'd be able to see them more often. I've got a week off coming up in about a month and a bit, so that's something to do during my week off. So it wouldn't be too tricky to move everything about. It's just a case of shifting, pulling out all the plants, taking out the wood, catching the fish that are in there, sticking them in a bucket, and moving the wood and the shells across, or moving the rocks and the shells across, and then catching all the adult. When you're catching the Shelleys, it's easy. You just take the shells out, move the shells across to a new tank, and the Shelleys are in them. Is catching shillies for sale was the problem. Catching them to move them is easy. So yeah, that does sound like a plan. Some plants and some cribbies and lemon blue eyes in here. Shillies in there, and then that still leaves what to go in the other flex with the pair of bristlies. So yeah, something will come to mind. Because even I'm not mad enough to try and breed two pairs of bristle noses in one tank, one 15-gallon tank. The one that gets the most claggiest filter out of all of the tanks, except for the fry rack, obviously. So yeah, it's all interesting thoughts. So I'd say, yeah, if anyone's got anything they would like to see me try and keep or not kill and then breed, let me know, either in the chat or in the comments, or send me a message or whatever. Bun, me darling, how the devil are ya? Mwah. I'm doing kisses this week, not hugs. No idea why. I just thought, yeah, we'll do kisses this week. Yeah, there's that. The ride. Not really. To be fair, my YouTube watching this week, oh, pardon me, has mostly been some more old endurance racing. I say old, I mean like 2016. HP Lovecraft audiobooks. That kind of stuff. Ooh, quail. Quail are delicious. Not a lot of meat on them though, so you need a couple of them to make a decent meal. Yeah, I'll think of something. Maybe even something simple like rummy nose or cardinals. Or actually, no, the flow in a flex is a bit much for a better, isn't it? So, yeah, maybe not one of them. Unless I get a short fin better. Yeah, that could be cool. I've not had one of them for quite a while. Yeah, plenty to think about and ideas to have. So, no rush. Oh, both ends. Oh, 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 there we go. That's it. That's cleared that. Yeah, so yeah, things are generally looking good fish-wise going forwards. I just got to figure out some content now to get me through till I start, or Mary and I start exploring places again. So I will do a video on the herons pellets. If you want a brief video of how well the herons multi pellets go, should we give some fishies some food? I think I've fed them 3 times maybe now. So let's stick some herons multi pellets in here and see what happens. Now I've decanted some into a pot just to make life easier. Anyone would think they'd think it was feeding time, wouldn't they? Here we go. Shall we see what happens? but you got one stuck on your head, mate. I think we can safely say those are rather popular. You give it a minute. Yep, the Corys are already starting to come out and hunt them out. One down there, one down there. I can see a couple more. 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, the heron's pellets are popular. That's also a sign as a good reason why you shouldn't feed your fish just one type of food. So then they don't obsess about that one kind of food. They just assume that anything you put in there they can eat, which can be a bad idea. But Mark, did he fall asleep on Craig? Did for a while, woke up and you were gone. Waiting on Mum from church, been home for lunch. Have you eaten anything good yet today? How are you? Oh. Yeah, so probably a couple of months away from the ye olde churchies and stuff explorations going to start up again on the channel. So yeah, it's going to be fish content. Unfortunately, we're stuck with for a while, as long as I can figure out something to actually film. Howdy, Ricky. How you doing? There's nothing wrong with dozing off. Eakins, how you doing, bro? I'm good. Well, you know, as good as it gets anyway. Plenty I could grumble about, but there's no point because no one listens or cares. Working and lurking. Good. Fine, go back home. Was on nocturnal duty. Oh dear. Oh, nocturnal duty. That doesn't sound good to me. Need more Monster Energy. I'm being posh today. I've got a daddy ball. Don't know why I don't get notifications. Pass. Yeah, I say if you need a nap, have a nap. Yeah, nocturnal animals. Yeah, but I've been on Relentless for a while, just a cost-saving measure. A 4-pack of Relentless is like $3.50, and a 4-pack of Monster is a $5. So yeah, if you're eating, drinking 2 4-packs a week, you're saving £3 a week. Which I know doesn't sound much, but when you say £3 there, £2 there, £1 there, 50p there, whatever, soon adds up. Turn my notifications off in general because they interfere with my movies. That is annoying. If you're watching something and you get notifications start coming up on the screen, you're like, do it when I'm not watching a video. I mean, I've not got them turned off. I've got the volume turned off on notifications, so they come through on like my phone and my tablet, but they don't go ping every time. Oh damn! And for things like comments and stuff like that, because otherwise my phone just things just ping all day long, and it's just like, oh, shut up! Stop making noise. blame me being tired, being honest. I'm definitely going to have to watch that back now, though, so yeah, might be a bit rough. Yeah. I've not been sleeping great lately, but you know, we do as we can. So naps, wonderful things. And if anyone says, "Oh no, nap," yeah, no, no, they just haven't learnt the wonder of nap yet. Is that just? Yeah, it's just shadow on my face, isn't it? Yeah, I haven't actually not washed my face or something. It's just shadow from the bins because I got a bright LED light right in front of me, and I just looked at it. And that was a really bad idea. Um, yeah, it's oh, I'm fine, Bun Bun. Don't you worry about me, my dear. I'm big enough and ugly enough to look after myself. Hey, I'm okay. It's kind of a bit short on ideas this week, that's all. So I've not been doing anything too interesting. Well, not for other people anyway. You know, yeah, it's still not home, but you have a strong signal. The force is strong with you. That's because you've restocked. Did you get my foot cream for me? My hooves need tending to. Um, yeah. So yeah, around about March, yes, we'll start going out and about and 5 hours till we see the oncologist. Well, good luck there, Mark. Well, all got our fingers crossed for good news. And hopefully you'll rattle a bit less afterwards. THC foot cream. Oh, so my feet can get stoned. Awesome. So I just have to stay in the armchair because if I try and stand up, my feet will be asleep. Uh, like when you sat on the toilet for too long and your legs go to sleep. If you've not experienced that yet, it's interesting. You sat there reading a book or something, and then you stand up, and then you nearly fall over because well, you can't feel your legs, basically. Um, and by the time you get about halfway back down the stairs, you start getting the pins and needles in your feet because the blood flow's going back, and yeah. Um, oh dear. I don't think I've been smoking 30 odd years. And I did break one of my pinky nails, but it was the short one. So may have been guilty of that many times in the past. Oh, this is it, isn't it? You always. No, this is it. As a man, you generally take something to read with you to the bathroom for a number two. You know you might be there a while. Um, and sometimes, if what you're reading is really enjoyable or engrossing, you keep reading it longer than you meant to. And yeah, next thing you know, you finish the book and you have to crawl out of the bathroom because you can't walk because your feet are, and your legs are completely asleep because they've had no blood flow for about 3 hours. Bit like riding a bike. If the seat's not quite right after a certain amount of time, because if the seat's not quite right and you're putting pressure in slightly the wrong place, you'll put the pressure on the vein or the artery, I guess, that feeds blood to your lower extremities and your third leg, shall we say. And after maybe 10 miles, you'll start losing the feeling in your feet and the old boy. And then you have to stop and like get off and walk about a bit and get the blood flowing back. Because when the old boy and the bits fall asleep, you can't tell if you're peeing or not. So yeah, it's just best to be on the safe side, and it kind of does just feel like you're having a pee, and that's not a good sensation when you're riding on a bike. I know you said on a bike with a seat. Yes, there is a seat on my bike. Didn't know you said. Yes, there is a seat on there. Otherwise, the seat post is a bit cold on. Yes, exactly. Yeah, we're all rooting for you, Mark. Not rooting you, but rooting for you. Um, yeah, he's a good fit, but you know, unfortunately, the top tube of the frame isn't quite high enough for my preferred leg position when cycling. Um, yeah, it's not good when the bits go numb, and it also helps to take a break every once in a while as well, because I also have carpal tunnel in my wrists from no, not that, from when I worked in the chicken factory many years ago, and I still got it. So after X amount of miles, my hands start going numb as well. And you kind of need to be able to feel and move your hands and your feet when you're cycling, and be aware of whether you're urinating or not. Uh, plus, it works out quite well. So if I like cycle 3/4 of an hour, then get off and have a ciggy and a drink and maybe something to eat, then do another 3/4 of an hour, I'm okay. Yeah, but without a seat, you need far more lube, and I'm not a fan of using lube down there if I don't have to. After work, Debbie and I are going to her favourite Malaysian. Ooh, very posh. Well, I say that, but it's like an Aussie going for a Malaysian is probably the equivalent of an Englishman going to a French restaurant. Suck it up, but that's the problem. I do suck it up. Um, Start to get a bit of a metallic tang in the back of the throat. But yeah, so I'm, I know how far I want to cover on day one of that cycle ride. I want to make day two easy, if possible. But I also don't want to rush, miss things, and tire myself out totally. Because I got a funny feeling I'm not going to sleep too well under a tarp in a wood surrounded by wildlife with the sun coming up early in the morning, knowing I shouldn't be camping there. And I will have a sleeping bag and I will be on an air pad, but I know I'm going to wake up in pain, barely be able to move. So yeah, day two is going to be funny. I reckon once I've got half a dozen miles under my belt, I'll be fine. But I've got a funny feeling I might not want to necessarily be riding off road. I might want some nice smooth tarmac. Howdy, Mark. How you doing? All is good, I think, for the most part. So most is good. Nothing's ever perfect, is it? Let's be honest. And if it was, we'd just be worried about what's going to go wrong next. Let's have a look, see what's going on. Yeah, it's pretty much just the Corey is now rooting around to find the odd pellet that got missed. And he's looking a bit confused, like, where'd all the food go? Oh, oh no, I'm too slow to get it. How you doing, early, you dummy? It's got that massive dorsal fin, it slows you down, doesn't it, eh? Oh, the fact that you're a cichlid and you're waiting for the tiny little limia fry to get out of the way before you try and eat it. You should like eat the limia fry instead. You're perfectly capable. Dumb animal. Um, yeah, so I think I've got everything I need to get now for the ride. I've got maps, got all the gear I need. Susie Q, how are you? Mwah. Actually, I thought about you earlier this week. And no, I wasn't being perverse. Although, don't put that past me. I was looking through Etsy for some figurines or bus 3D printed resin ones to paint. See if anything made me go, oh yeah, that one, that's cool. And I wasn't aware, but they do 3D printed, X-rated doll's house dolls. Yeah, there was a there was one of a threesome going on in doll's house scale. I was like, what the? So yeah, that made me think of you, Susie Q. Ricky got baby gliders. A few days back, opened their eyes and started exploring, coming out of the sleeping bags. Cool. I bet baby sugar gliders are even cuter than adult sugar gliders, unless they're born like bald and ugly, like so many cute animals are. Although baby rabbits are just adorable. But then that's because rabbits are adorable. Yes, I know, Mark. Rabbits are food. But we're talking two different species of lagomorph, or two different strains, I should say, because they're technically originally the same species, but the amount they've been bred, they now actually do have a separate scientific name. I can't remember what it was. So yes, wild ones for eating, domesticated ones for cuddling. Jerks went near one, he started crying. Mum showed up, and he said, that needs to go away. Yeah, exactly. Rabbits are food, bunnies are friends. Yes, that is the way I tend to look at it. A wild one is a rabbit, a pet one is a bunny. And not that I'm saying bunny is a pet, because as we know, she's a bunny viper, which means she will bite back and can be quite toxic. Well, bunny's never been toxic in her life. Uh, Intoxicated, maybe. The only time she's ever been toxic. Yes, intoxicated has the word toxic in the middle of it because poison. Oh, Susie Q, you got a bun bun? What kind of bun bun have you got, Susie Q? And we need a name as well. Mary has a mini lop called Latte, who is the Queen of Ipswich. She is awesome and lovely and wonderful. And so is Mary. We're going to have mini cows. I don't know, can they be toilet trained or not? I doubt you could toilet train a cow of any flavour. Although, I'm just picturing you milking a mini cow going. Oh, I don't know why that's so funny to me. You know, when Ivy's intoxicated, she deletes all her messages. Yes. And then when she sobers up, she remembers to take down the video where she accidentally flashed everyone. Um, I'm not that anyone complained. Nobody was upset about the sight of some bunny boob, but oh, Nanny's brownie, given this to a nice family. Unfortunately, one of the kids was allergic to it. Oh, well, couldn't have gone to a better home to get all the loves and the fusses and the snuggles and give the licks. And when they're upset with you, give you the butt. Here's the important thing, and this is something that rabbit keepers know. Not that I am a rabbit keeper, but you know, when rabbits are upset with you, they will give you the butt. Literally, they will just turn around, look away from you, and just point their butt at you. But you may not touch the butt or the tail. Do not ever touch a rabbit's butt or tail. They hate it. And they will let you know they don't like it. The butt and the thump, yes. And the foot flick as they run away from you. Yes. They're such characters. But when they give you the snuggles and the licks, what can you do? And then they do something comical. Or they flop. Mum came on, now I have to do an emergency breathing treatment. I can do that in this at the same time. No, do the emergency breathing treatment first. We'll still be here. Don't worry, Bunny. Medical emergency needs come ahead of weird fishy person on YouTube. It's so as we've made ourselves a dog-friendly store at work, it is a hardware store, so we haven't got to worry about food safety or anything like that. We're also rabbit-friendly as well, because we have, well, one's technically a customer and the other one is a customer. One's a colleague customer, and they both bring their rabbits in, and so yes, we have bunny treats behind the counter as well. Yeah, so doggos get fusses and treats, and so do bunnies. Although the colleague is not too happy with either me or her bunny at the moment, because her bunny has never licked her and doesn't do snuggles. But literally the first time I met Phoenix, I got snuggles and licks. So either I taste good to bunnies, or you know, they just recognise another furry animal. Oh no! Wrong with Siggy, and the filter fell out the end. Some kid bought in an axolotl and had to save it. Oh dear! Let me filter go. Oh, there it is. Might taste a bit fishy, but what the heck? At least the carpet's dry. Yeah, I guess axolotls are one of those that people buy because they're cool and they think it's going to be easy to look after. Don't really do the research. It's like bunnies aren't good kids' pets. Don't buy a kid a bunny because they take quite a bit of looking after, and you kind of need some experience with animals first. There was one in my LFS. I say LFS, it sells everything. Well, everything. Fish. It does fresh, salt, cold, reptiles, insects, spiders, turtles, marmosets, caiman, uh, parrots, hornbills, toucans, quail, finches. Yeah. And then, you know, rats, mice, guinea pigs, rabbits, bunnies, sorry. Hello, Priscilla, my darling. How are you? And boom. They were taking it somewhere for who knows what. Spilled all the water they had while driving, and so he gave them some bottled water. So we're about to use tap water with no dechlorinator. Yes. So I just woken up from a heavy dose of liquid Valium and couldn't write for poop. Um, yeah. And for people who don't know, I work at a gas station. Well, I work at a hardware store, and I had someone bring a goldfish in. So, welcome to the club of weird stuff that happened at work. I mean, I was aware said goldfish was coming in because I've been conversing with the person on FaceAche and said, look, if you can't find its owner, bring it in, I'll look after it, and then you can carry on trying to find the owner. Yeah, I am a gas station. Produce a lot of hot air. I said, no, I'll take it home and put it in a tank or a tub as it was. Filter it, look after it, try and nurse it back to health after the cat attack. And you try and find the owner, and if they want it back, then you'll know where it is. Fair enough. Well, when I'd said to my shift manager, look, someone might be bringing in a goldfish for me later, they were like, yeah, right, okay. I got a bit of a shock when a goldfish did turn up in a sandwich bag. And it wasn't a little one. It was lucky he was about that big when he turned up. yeah. That's. So I'm taking it home. Apparently, I have 30 tanks at home. Yeah. Didn't fight them. Yeah, exactly. You've done what you can. I am absolutely fine, Bun. There's nothing wrong. Don't you worry about me, my dear. There's nothing to worry about. I'm good. I'm fine. Just, if anything, just a bit tired is all. Nothing to worry about. And I'm basically permanently depressed. Don't worry about that. I don't suffer with depression. Depression suffers with me. I'm absolutely fine. I'm good. I'll say, if anything, just a little bit tired is all. Sharpe, get rid of that heart. No, just because it annoys you. All it covers is like the last 3 letters of that line. So all you can do is do your best when people ask or come to you for help in these situations, because you can't take responsibility, because chances are that animal's got a very short lifespan ahead of it. I mean, when I got said goldfish, she'd been keeping it in a mixing bowl, a food mixing bowl, in tap water, and feeding it what was it? Grapes and muesli. So yeah, he was a bit constipated when I got him. I'm phone it completely blocks the last word. Well, if I remember, I'll get around to it at some point. Sometimes people do click it. Um, yeah. So. And now, as I say, Lucky, as he was named, is now happily living in my pond and has been for over a year. How ironic is that the word blocked is blocked by the damn heart. Someone hit the heart button. Yes, Sam has posted that tutorial many a time. I think every stream he posts that link. And yeah, I have to do it. And yeah, people are just clicking the heart now, just to spite you, Sam. I mean, I don't know what it actually does. It's just going to be a constant stream of emojis coming up now, isn't there? So yeah, I'm going to leave it because it bugs you and other people do use it. Welcome back, Ricky. So yeah, heart clicked. There we go. There's Mark again. Um, so Lucky is now living his best life in my pond. I say his best life, he's got 4 more committee friends in there with him. So yes, I know that's overstocked. 5 comets in 150 gallons, and it's unfiltered. Yes, it's perfectly healthy out there because it's unfiltered. Because I leave the sludge in the bottom of the pond, and because it's full of all the lovely little bugs and critters and snails and algae and all the good stuff that makes an actual natural pond or lake healthy. Weird that, huh? If you kind of let nature do its thing, it kind of sorts itself out. I mean, I wouldn't suggest doing that in a fish tank, but in a pond in the garden that, let's be honest, has had some very serious water changes recently. All natural. It's an auto water change system because the pond isn't level. So when it fills up with rainwater, it runs out the other end over to the bungalow out the back, which is fine because the guy who lives there is an absolute Karen. So the fact that his side path gets flooded every so often, minor problem. And of late, floods and then freezes. So I pondered, naturally, just top off the evac. Yeah, exactly. That's all I do. If we have a really long dry period like we have done the last few summers, I just top it up out of the rainwater butt. Literally just hook the hose up to the bottom of the water butt, drop the other end in the pond, and turn the tap on the butt on. Water runs in the pond when I go, pond's full or water butt's empty, turn it off, job done. Really simple. Just have to then hope it rains again fairly rapidly. But usually in the English summer isn't a problem. The last couple of years, last year especially, we had a serious drought. Next village over that direction, Old Buckingham. On the village green is a series of ponds that have been there for donkey's years. And of the 4 of them, 3 of them totally dried up last summer. They're back full again now, obviously, because of all the flooding, but obviously all the wildlife in them is no longer. So what the people from the village council are doing is they're going to get some waders on, go into the pond that didn't dry up and catch a bunch of stuff and move it across. Sea plants in ponds that I never planted. Theories it comes from bird droppings. Yes, it does. Yeah, because I've got a holly tree growing in my back garden. I've never planted a holly tree. There's all sorts growing out there that I never put in there. Yeah, it comes from birdies doing the poop thing. Well, they're quite where they eat nettle seeds. I don't know. I understand the blackberry seeds or bramble seeds because they eat the blackberries. But how you got one of your turtles? You got a bird dropped it. Hopefully it landed in the pond and not on some concrete or something. Please don't tell me you just went out. You didn't just go out to your pond one day and go, hang on, I got more turtles than I should have. What? Yeah, it happens. So many moons ago, before the pond's been there a long while, but it kind of died at one point. Before it did, and the reason for that was neglect on my part, because I let the garden get so overgrown that it was just a stagnant black mess. Similar to peacock soft shells, maybe that, or yeah, could easily. Yeah, so hang on, you're different. Why are you different? Yeah, so the pond, through my neglect, died. But before it had, there were actually fish in there that I didn't put in there. There was some roach swimming about, and a couple of roach swimming about in there. So it must have been eggs on the legs of a duck or something that actually came into my garden, or a heron. Oh, bunny's off. It's off for more Valium. Yeah, so you just put the water, put a pond in there, and stuff comes. See you later, Susie. Thanks for turning up and being here. Have a wonderful day and week. Yeah, I never put frogs in my pond, and there hadn't been ponds around here at all. Then suddenly there were frogs in the pond. Started out with 1, then there were 2, then there were more, and now there are bloody hundreds of them. And it's quite amusing because some of my neighbours are scared of frogs, and they enjoy gardening. So they go out when the weather starts picking up and getting nice, and they go out and start doing their gardening, and they keep finding frogs everywhere. Every so often you'll hear a squeal from someone's back garden. Oh, someone found one of those frogs then. Not my fault. I'm helping nature. My garden may be a mess, but I bloody guarantee you there's a lot more life in my back garden than there is in anyone else's. Yeah, bloody French. Exactly. Bunch of Napoleons. Cheese-eating surrender monkeys. The problem I have with my ponds are cormorants and monitor lizards. Let's stop the birds, but yeah, I mean cormorants. Yeah, we do have cormorants in the UK. I tend not to come into towns though. But yeah, we definitely don't have monitor lizards in the wild. I mean, if I found a monitor lizard in my back garden, I'm not entirely sure who I'd call about it. It'd either be the RSPCA or the LFS. Uh, yeah, hi. Is such and such about? Yeah, I'll just get them for you. Cheers. All right, bud. Yeah, it's me. Do you guys want a 6 foot monitor lizard? What do you mean? Do we want a 6 foot monitor lizard? Well, one just turned up in my back garden. You can have it for nothing, but you're going to have to come and catch it because I ain't going nowhere bloody near it. Iguana busters. Yes. What do you call it? Or what do you? How can I word this joke? What do you call it when a spirit gets too excited? An exogasm. Um, or let's hope no one ever actually experiences one of them because that can be quite cool. Ooh. Ooh. Do ghosts have sex? Hmm. I'm going to try not to think about that one too much. Otherwise, I'm going to have some really weird dreams. They were weird enough last night. I dreamt a woman was showing me how to paint her toenails, or how to paint toenails. I have no idea why, but she was wearing a very short skirt and no knickers, so I was quite interested. Um, I suspect that might have been a subtle hint that this person was flirting with you many years ago when you actually met them. I didn't recognise them, but for all I know, it could have been someone I went to school with that fancied me, and I never realised it. It's an 8 footer and that guy whipped his tail. He's been evicted from the property lots of times and somehow keep coming back. So what does monitor lizard taste like then, Ricky? Don't say chicken. You only got to get a few good steaks off of an 8 footer. Or is it one of those ones that you just know it's going to taste foul because, yes, foul chicken, I know. Because of what they eat, it's not going to taste good. Like, you know, carp. If you're going to eat carp, you have to put it in fresh water and clean it out. Or let it clean itself out for a few weeks before you try and eat it, because otherwise it's going to taste of lake bottom. I've not tried it, but it looks grim and it feels grim. I'm told it smells grim. Tribes eat them. Yeah, it's just gonna. So I don't think there are many animals on the planet that people don't eat in some description or another. And I include humans in that as well. Long pig, as it was called. Not eating lizards. That's where I draw the line. Yeah, I don't know where I draw the line on how hungry I am. Sup, Salient? How you doing? Human, I want to try. Apparently, it just tastes like pork. So, you know, next time you're eating ham, just pretend you're eating boiled butt cheek. Someone's willing to donate their fingers. I don't know. There was that German guy who did advertise for someone to let him eat their third leg, and someone replied and allowed him, and then basically the police found out because obviously they had to call an ambulance because the guy was bleeding to death after having his manhood removed, cooked and eaten in front of him. I'm not sure. I think the guy got arrested, but I don't think he was convicted of a crime. He wasn't convicted of like assault or anything like that because he had no, it was consensual, but he did get convicted of cannibalism. Oh, Tommy's back. He's beyond ecstatic. He got some really cool mollies. There you go. There's your good deed for the day, Tommy. You have made someone happy, which is always a good thing to do, if possible. I mean, sometimes it's a good thing to do, make someone upset, but saw human skin lampshade and shoes. Wanted to buy it. It was in the auction. And I thought a bit too far. Yeah. If you start doing that, you're going to have to change your surname from Das to Dharma. Although I think in Bury St Edmunds Museum, which isn't too far from me, and there are videos on it on YouTube. There was a murderer. Was it the guy who did the murders at the Red Hook or the Red Barn? Can't remember who it was. Heinous murdery type person who got sentenced to death, but they still got his flayed face, and I think it's his face, or is it? Might be his scalp and something like that. But there's also a book bound with his skin. One had pectoral fins almost like an angelfish. Gorgeous molly. I'd rather have a molly with fins like an angelfish than an angelfish, let's be honest. Angelfish are evil little buggers. Mind you, actually, I'll put one in there. It might do something about the molly fry. Molly fry? Limia fry. That, or it would get bullied by the adult limia. Or Bert and Ernie would decide they didn't like having another cichlid friend in there. Tibetan hex book. Yeah, that's probably one you don't want to keep by your bedside. Well, yeah, I was like, back in the day, human skin was used to bind books quite regularly. Yeah, why waste it? Yeah, we're all about saving the planet and reducing waste these days. Why not put this to use at some point? No, rather than just like bury it in like a lead-lined hardwood box, hermetically sealed, and then only have grass grow over the top of it, so you don't need it for the extra nutrition in the soil. Actually use the human body after it's passed. Actually put it to good use. And no, I'm not suggesting Soylent Green. There's plenty of bits of the body that could be used. I mean, ligaments are one of the strongest, or ligaments and tendons are some of the strongest things there are. The skin can be tanned and used as leather. We've fed worse things to animals. Pigs are quite happily eat us. Or just bury us in something biodegradable and plant, I don't know, some rare plants or trees over the top. Use the human body to fertilize. Yeah, they can turn your carbon into a custom diamond. Oh, I love your new ring. Oh, where did you get that? Oh, it's my ex. It's my ex-husband. It's his carbon. Oh. The thing is, I reckon the process. Speak English, not American. Um, the process of transforming the carbon in the human body into an industrial diamond is probably more expensive than the worth of the diamond that you get at the end of it, unless you're going to get some real weirdos that, not kink shaming, but real weirdos that kind of want things like that. And I kind of get it for a beloved relation or lover or whatever, but people are going to be selling them off, and it's going to be like, oh, diamond made from dead human. Ooh, I want that. That's the perfect Valentine's gift. Yes, guys, remember, Valentine's Day is in a few weeks, so get thinking about it now. Yeah, want to be fertilizer for a wildlife area, not for a garden, though. Exactly. Give back to nature. I mean, yeah, you don't want to be the fertilizer for your own veg plot, do you? I mean, your family. Let's be honest, your family ain't going to eat none of that produce that comes out of that ground. How do you like your potatoes, Tommy Junior? They taste a bit funny. They remind me of Dad. Mum, what is you cooking, and why does it smell like Dad's aftershave? Hello, Junebug. Hashtag bacon. Given the subject we're talking about right now, um, we have literally been one with the family again. Thank you very much, June. Yes, my one of two. There's only two of these in existence. It's a human. That's no pig. It is. It's a long pig. And you probably know this one already, Tommy, but being a Texan and a fan of barbecue, I'm assuming. I got the t-shirt and I got a hoodie. I got the only hoodie in existence. So nah 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 nah. The mugs make good ashtrays. Oh dear. Yeah. I switched to using smaller ashtrays. It means I empty them more regularly. Um, but yeah, so barbecues originally comes from the French barbe en coeur, which means goat on coal or goat on coals. So originally it was a way of cooking goat. So there you go. Barbecue some goat, Tommy. Get back to the French. Hello, Barbara. How are you, my dear? Goat on coal is delicious. Exactly. Those French know a few things about cooking. And if you get to try a cheval steak, knocks beef right out of the park. Just don't tell anyone what cheval is, and that'll be fine. Don't drink coffee, but the mugs are useful. I tend not to drink coffee either, but every so often I'll have a Horlicks or a hot chocolate, or I'll need to heat up some water in the microwave to make some tea. No, not tea for human consumption. No Brit would ever heat up water in a microwave to make a cup of tea. We have kettles for that purpose. It's the for the red bush tea for the Blackwater tank, because made with biodegradable bags, which means if you leave them in the fish tank for a few days, you end up with all the tea leaves floating around in the fish tank. Good wood sheet or something over the nana leaves. Good proper spelling of nana. So sand doesn't get in the meat as much. Yeah, well, you know, that's a good way of getting rid of the plaque. A bit of sand in there. Oops, right there. Yep. Don't understand how the French can just make lettuce and vinaigrette so delicious. Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, it's not, but I understand where you're coming from. Looks like off and on, busy at the moment. Lunch with mum, dog in and out, and in again. Reading treatment, got to clean up and change, take some meds, and sometimes get around to damn nap treatments make me sleepy. Well, have a yeah, big snoozy hug and a on the cheek for you, or on the forehead, whichever helps you get to sleep. Nearly started right, done with those days and not happening. Boots cats. Is it just me, or when I read that, and this it probably is just me. When I read it, I don't read it as boots cats, boots cats. I read it as boot scat, boot scats. That might just show a bit too much in the inner workings of my mind. Oh, yeah. Go for it, Ricky. Yeah. Start them riots. Go for it. Yes. Boot scat. This is like when someone hasn't cleaned up after their dog and you stepped in it. I'm glad it weren't just me then. Because like every time I see it, I'm like, do I, do I, do I say something? This is the reason why I keep my guns in the bank locker, not at home or on me. Yeah. The safe, if you have guns, the safest thing to do is keep them locked up and well away from you. You know what's really hard to do? Accidentally shoot yourself or shoot someone else with a gun when you haven't got a gun. It's hard to have a firearms accident if you don't have firearms. Still not as bad as what boots means in American, in Armenian. Ah, fair enough. I haven't actually looked into the Armenian. Um, Locked up guns, then why have them? Because you don't need them. No. You don't need to have them. It's that simple. We can have guns in the UK, but they have to be kept stored in a secure locker that is bolted to the wall and the floor, and the ammunition has to be stored in a different locker or different safe, sorry, in a different room. It's because it stops you from shooting people. So you only take the gun out when you need to use it for sporting purposes or for hunting, because they're the only two real reasons you actually need a gun. And trust me, there's a lot of guns around this area. Vast majority of them are shotguns, though. Double barrel, 2 shells, and then you have to reload. Speaking of guns, have you seen how many people are in Texas right now, including more than several states and National Guard, really testing our people, winter infrastructure? Hope it stays peaceful. Me too. Yeah, exactly. I think the latest numbers say that there are more guns owned in America than there are Americans. So yeah, pretty sure almost every American has a gun. Um, and because a gun for self-defense is just silly. And if you do want a gun for self-defense, a 22 will be perfectly powerful enough. Um, Black powder, yes. But it's not that I'm torn. It's just that, uh, to me, historical firearms need to be looked after and kept because they are historical items. Why anyone would need a semi-automatic 30 round or, you know, rifle, we'll say, we won't get into the semantics of what it is and isn't, or why you need a handgun with like 12 or 18 shells. Self-defense, like 2 or 3 should be plenty enough. I still say that the Second Amendment is just a misspelling. It's meant to say the right to bear arms, as in BARE, which means you're allowed to wear short sleeves. I have to buy a different gun for each individual purpose. I'd rather have an all-in-one. You need one. You don't. Really don't need one. Literally, unless you're a sportsman, in which case you'll have whichever weapons that you use for the sport that you do, or a farmer and you have a shotgun for, yeah, obvious reasons. You're shooting pests. I mean, hell, you need a license over here for an air rifle that's got more than 12 foot-pound muzzle velocity. 12, more than 12 foot-pound. I don't know what the muzzle velocity is, but yeah, half the critters 1 week. Yeah, stay away from the critters then. That's a fairly simple solution. And I'm not going to go with yeah, I'm gonna avoid that on my K203. I want a KV2, but it's not going to happen. You ain't stopping a bear with your hands. Yeah, I just burp at it. That usually works for most things. Burp or yawn. So, and being worried about animals, a bear isn't a problem. Not compared to some of things Ricky might have to deal with. Tigers, elephants. I can pick one up from the factory. I can't leave the premises with it. Lots of rounds it takes away having to carry extra magazines. Yeah, so it's. I mean, I'm saying this, but then I enjoy the channels like Forgotten Weapons and CN Arsenal, where they have massive arsenals of weapons, but they are pretty much all historic firearms. On the West Coast, we try to reason with the bear first. Yeah, exactly. Go with a lever action has been able to fire a single shot faster than most can shoot a semi. Yeah, I'm not got to admit, I struggle to shoot off a semi. Um, grew up around guns, hunting, and fishing, and I hate the outdoors. Yeah, so it's. And the what was the other one? Was the trench gun, weren't it? which is one of the Remington shotguns. I don't recall whether they modified it for military use to be able to do it, or they modified it for civilian use so you couldn't do it. But it was set so you could just hold the trigger and pump, and it would just keep firing every time you pumped it. Although in-range TV did a test on that and actually proved that it was slower and far less accurate that way. And at the ranges you're shooting somebody in a trench, you don't get a nice spread of shotgun pellets. It's still like fist size. So beautiful. Bugs like to bite me. Yes, I know that one. Don't get it. It's my gun show factory. I should be going allowed to visit when I want. And it becomes a security threat. Yeah, as I say, if the military has it, we want it, just in case we got to get 1776 again. I mean, the general way around that is to stop voting in the people that might, go 1776 on you again. If your politicians start drinking lots of tea, vote them out, especially if they're in Boston. Yes, Brit has American history. Such a baby little country, 1776. Oh, vote them out every election. You got to make it got fingerprint scanners on the trigger, so-called like an iPhone gun. Yeah, I definitely don't want that, because a bloody fingerprint scanner on my phone don't even recognise my fingerprint most of the time. If our politicians were smarter than a fourth grade student, it'd be better too. Whipsus, how you doing? Oh, I did see another video the other day of you in the wild. Apparently you got spotted up in the Appalachian Mountains. I joke, of course, it was a Bigfoot video. Purported Bigfoot video. I wonder which senior care home our next president will be coming from. I mean, this is it. I mean, it's like, I'm not washing my hands and saying we have wonderful politicians, because ours are just as scummy. Ricola! Exactly. Never come close to needing a pew-pew. I only got a few years left, so I'll not need one now. I'll not start now. Yeah. I mean, we've got a pool of 68 million people to choose from in total for who gets to lead our country, right? So chances are our politicians aren't going to be that great. You've got 330 million people, and the best two people you can come up with are Donald Trump and Joe Biden? Seriously? I wouldn't trust either of them to run a pee up in a brewery. Let's be honest. One of them would just be sniffing everyone's hair, and the other one would just be trying to make all the money. And then claiming they thought of everything. Donald Trump is awesome, for just sheer comedy value. And the fact that the rest of the world is still sitting there thinking, you actually voted for him? Seriously? You voted for someone who can go like that? And that's about how far they are away politically from Adolf? Yeah. We sat there watching seeing the rallies, and we were thinking, last time we saw anything like that was in Germany in the 1930s. That's literally what was going through our heads when we saw El Trumpenführer. Yeah, no, he's not. He's literally not fit to run a run a farting contest in a cabbage soup factory. Only time I came close to voting with Ron Paul back in the day, he went out in the primaries. I think to oil baby Bush. Yeah, it's just money. Take away the whole gerrymandering and the bungs that keep happening to keep certain things going. Make them report every penny they earn and where it came from. And, if they got given money by, say, an oil company, they're not allowed to vote in anything that might involve oil or energy or protecting the planet. That might change things. And I'm not saying just over there. I mean, over here, our politicians are just as bad. I mean, it's basically an Eton old boys club. Let's be honest. We're just hoping we manage to get rid of the bloody conservatives, bloody right wingers. Yeah. Anyway, let's get off politics before I completely lose everybody. I'd have to vote that in, and just like a pay cut, they won't vote it in. Oh yeah, I remember back in was it 2008, that big recession there was, when the banks all went, oh, we've been giving money to people who can't pay it back, we're screwed. Our politicians decided to vote themselves in for a big pay rise because we deserve this, while everyone else is struggling and hadn't had a pay rise in years. And then they wonder why we all got really upset about it. Yeah, because I mean, there was one of the very best headlines I ever read in 2008, and it's almost as good as Corkman drowns. It was Fannie Mae collapse, and given what the English use of the word Fannie means, I thought Jack Whitehall's comment on Trump is funny as hell. I think most comedians have had a go. I'm the weirdo that votes for everyone to take their shoes off and get back to nature. Yes. Well, in that case, it'll be the Green Party over here, because we do have a party called the Green Party, which is purely about environmental stuff. Yes, prolapse puss, exactly. Fannie Mae collapse. How to segue from that to howdy Skipper, how you doing? Oh dear. It's a good job Mark didn't put that comment in just after Skipper had said hello. Yes, apparently I've not alienated everyone quite yet. Trying. We've done guns and politics. Got a different Green Party over here. Yeah, well, we have a legalised cannabis party as well, so. I don't think they're around anymore, but we also have the Monster Raving Loony Party, led by Screaming Lord Such, rest in peace. Oh, yeah, they were funny. But their entire purpose was basically just to show how stupid politics is. And they pretty much succeeded. I mean, they actually got a seat one election. Funny enough, that was the time that things actually got sorted a bit around here. But I mean, I can see, because there will still be the people who vote Conservative just because they vote Conservative. Yeah, it's like this. That is my side. That is who I vote for. Yeah, but they want to take everything away from you and put you in jail and make you a slave for life. Yeah, but I'll always vote for them, so I'll carry on voting for them. No, yeah, the people who just vote that way because they always have, and their parents always did, and you know, don't actually think about these things. So it may take a coalition to get them out of power, which could mean Labour and Lib Dems, Labour and the Green Party, Lib Dems and the Green Party. There'll be a party all around the world too. I don't think I'm allowed to say it out loud. It's got boss run by cuckoo people who think they have furniture and animals. Do this much to I'm screaming all such. My t-shirt says stupidity is not a crime, so you are free to go. Yeah. I'm on the line of t-shirts. I've been looking for a like paranormal investigation type one that's kind of funny and cool. But they're all either really cheesy and bad, or they all say ghost hunter, which I hate the term. I mean, I've got t-shirts. I've got t-shirts I can't wear in public. I've got t-shirts that if I wore on in a video would get the channel demonetized. So, and yeah, they are banned t-shirts in both senses of the term. I've not done any recent paranormally type stuff. Yeah, because it's not really been the weather to be out exploring old graveyards and churches. It's either been flooded or freezing. But yeah, should be something coming along. I'd love to do one from work, but we're not allowed to. We're not allowed to film at work. Trying to book a vacation for March in Cornwall. Ooh, remember to take your fishing gear and look out for waves. Yeah, March in Cornwall in March. I know March. Sometimes we have really nice weather, or it snows. You kind of got one or the other, or there's going to be an Atlantic storm coming. You are forgiven, Sam. Don't you worry, my friend. Life happens. Oh, we're all capable of stupidity. Jeez, I know I am. I mean, I've managed to knock myself out in bed. It can't be as bad as it was last year. Exactly. As I said, just watch out for waves if you're on the harbour fishing. Figure out which direction they're coming from and put your phone and stuff the other side. To those who don't know, Andrew was fishing off of the harbour when a big wave came and broke over the harbour wall and soaked him and destroyed his phone. First one last week called Anisha Dak. Night call. Heard a woman calling my name. Know what to do. Don't respond. Yeah. Yes. Usually best not to respond. In whichever culture you're from. If you hear your name being called and there's no one around, best not to respond. I mean, I hear it sometimes, but I know that's shadow taking the mickey, trying to wind me up or something. And Mary hears things as well sometimes, but again, we know who that is, so we're not worried about it. But yeah, if you're not expecting or don't, all these things are likely to happen, yeah, don't respond. Oh, there we go. Thanks for the links. Help Grant from Crayfish Empire doing his knee surgery recovery, and for Dusty as well for Dusty's problems. Thank you very much, Mark. And yes, my time is up. I'm going to eat something. Uh, no, not what you're thinking, Sam. Um, so yes, thank you very much, everyone, for being here and for making it a wonderful and fast-moving stream. I didn't have to think too much about what to say. Stay safe. Have a good week. Good luck at the oncologist, Mark. Stay safe. Peace out. Rock on. Bye bye. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. R. Monday suck do 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 do. Monday suck do 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 do. Monday suck.